Hey there, welcome back to Shane's Can of Worms, Project Betty Lou. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do some interior, a little bit of interior work where I need to start placing some devices under the dash. So as an example, I need to put a heater in the car, and I'm actually going to be putting in I'm not sure what year it is, but an old Chevrolet heater. It's got a little radiator in it, so I can take the coolant from the motor and plumb it into the cab. It's got a little fan. I'll have to replace the fan with a 12-volt fan since I'm getting rid of all the 6-volt apparatuses. But the main thing is someplace to put the e-brake. Now, I kind of liked the old vintage look of the old hand shifter e-brake, so I want to incorporate that into the build, and we'll see how that works out. I'll show you what I'm up against. So this is the old e-brake. Now, when I bought the car, of course it had a plywood floor. This was the original e-brake. I kind of like the looks of the old vintage handle. The problem is I need to shorten it a little bit because it actually should be fitting under the dash a little ways, but you can see this was kind of bolted through the plywood floor. Yeah, I'm up a little bit too high now. So I'm going to shorten the handle. I'm going to bolt it down to the floor somewhere along here. And I want to make sure, I want to incorporate this heater into the car, and I want to put the heater somewhere in the middle. So I'm just trying to get everything fitting properly here. So I figure I need to take about 3 inches off the length of the brake handle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cut here about 3 inches from the end, and then drill holes to replace these 2 pins, and they'll go up here. And then we'll retrofit it and make sure it's going to fit under the dash. So I got my piece cut off here. I cut the 3 inches off, drilled a couple holes here to match here. Now what I'll have to do is I'm going to have to open this up. As you can see here, we had a groove in there. We could fit some 1/4-inch plate, which is the ratchet assembly. So this needs to go up here. So that needs to go up to that hole there. So what I'll do is I'll heat that up, and then I'll drive a wedge in there and manipulate it with a hammer a little bit and see how that goes. smaller chisel. There. So I got that to fit in there. What I'll have to do now is I'll have to cut a couple notches in here so that has some room to bevel or to pivot. And yeah, let's see how that goes. to find a little coarser file. This is better, but it's too wide. I guess I'll have to use the fine file. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. So I got the first bolt in, started anyways. As you can see here, by bending that out, it's flared it out a little bit too much. So now I won't be able to get this, I'll call it a clevis around here, so because it's too wide. So what I'll do is I'll put it back in the vise and I'll heat it up and I'll suck that in a little bit with a nut and bolt. Well, it turns out I didn't have to heat anything up at all. It's thin enough metal, I can just suck it in with just by putting a bolt on there. So what I'll do now is I'll back this off and put this little clevis assembly on here, see how that fits. Just play around with it a little bit. So there you have it. I've took a little bit of mucking around here, but I finally got it to work. So this is the ratchet. But yeah, it seems to work okay. Now to find a place to put it in the car. Okay, so I got the emergency brake modified, so I can basically shorten it about 3 inches. I've got it, I don't have it tightened up to the floor, but I've got to get some longer bolts to make it through the frame under the subframe under the floor. And I also made a bracket to put this old heater in. So it's basically a true heater core. I was going to put in one of those gas-powered heaters, but I'd rather go with this setup. So this is actually, I'm not sure if it's a 1933 or 1934 Chevy heater. This car didn't come with a heater, but there was an aftermarket Chevrolet part. It's got the Chevrolet tag on it. I don't know if you can see it in there, but yeah, so anyways, I just got to hook up my plumbing to the block and away we'll go. The next thing I need to work on is the cowl vent. Cleaned it up a little bit, but come with a bracket assembly. This is it here. Won't work with my heater because it's in the way, and it's not a really good setup anyways. It's pretty janky, but I'm gonna come up with a different setup, probably like a thumb screw, not a thumb screw, but a screw on the bottom, so I can just turn the screw and it raises the cowl and lowers it on some springs as well. So anyways, that's about all I got for this weekend. Thanks for watching.